Before we start, let's look at what this course covers. We're going to be focusing on the Elixir language, and we're going to look at the most important features of that. So we're going to cover things like the syntax, the key types, things like integers and binaries. We're also going to look at the key data structures, lists and tuples and maps and so on. We're going to try and understand how to write functional programs, so think functionally. We're going to also try and build a simple program or a number of simple programs, and we're going to look at how you structure Elixir programs and the tools and things that you would use to do that. So, who is this course for? Well, it's probably for people who've had some kind of programming experience, and we'll go into that in the next slide. I'm expecting a student to have object-oriented skills, so they've done some kind of object-oriented language and are eager to learn about the functional world and functional languages. Also, I'm expecting them to be interested in perhaps building distributed and fault-tolerant systems. So distributed is running across multiple servers at the same time, code that runs across multiple servers, and also fault-tolerant. If a piece of the program crashes, it doesn't bring down the whole system, and hopefully it restarts it. What kind of programming experience? I'm expecting people to be familiar with another programming language. I'm expecting perhaps they've come from a Ruby background or Python, Java, C#, JavaScript, those kind of languages. They may well have done a bit of functional programming, things like Haskell and Scala and Lisp, and are keen to learn about the Elixir language. And also they should have some kind of object-oriented skills. So what will you get by the end? Well, I'm expecting you to be able to read and understand Elixir code. You should feel comfortable writing Elixir. You should be able to create and write recursive functions, be able to structure your programs in a Elixir way. You should be able to call Erlang code from Elixir programs. You'll be able to import Elixir dependencies and Erlang dependencies and use those within your code. And also you'll be able to add your own configuration to a configuration file and use that within your programs. And I'm expecting you to be able to do logging and output that to console. Processes are a key part of Elixir. You'll be able to execute functions within processes. You'll be able to send messages between processes and receive those. I'm expecting you to start to sort of be able to write functional programs and think in a functional way, and part of that is understanding the pattern matching concepts. This is all very well, but what does this course not cover? Well, there's a thing called the OTP, which is the Open Telephone Platform. This is frameworks and tools Erlang uses for creating distributed and fault-tolerant computing. We're not going to go into any detail on that. It's a very large subject and covers a lot of area, and this is really a course on its own. So this course is all about learning the Elixir language and being able to write Elixir code, being able to use processes, but it's not about OTP. I'm not expecting to teach you to write Erlang programs. I'm not going to go into exhaustive look at all the language primitives. I'm not going to cover everything. It's a large language. We're going to just focus on the key concepts and the key pieces. And finally, I'm not going into any details on things like algorithms, things like tree traversal or sorting algorithms and so on. This is purely a course about learning Elixir and things around that.